Hey, it's another daily walk with Sasha and Luna. This is Carnivore Ken. It's January 13th, 2024. I want to cover a couple things real fast. Anything I say is not medical advice. It's just the way I see it. Just normal Joe Blow on the internet. I'm going to say things that I have read, I have seen, I have heard, and studies I have found. And I'm going to speak to you that they are factual, but you should take them as just opinions from good old, once again, Carnivore Ken. Also, don't take anything I say as medical advice. You should always follow your doctor's advice, especially if you have a good one. Since I don't think I have a good doctor, I'm not following his advice. So let the cards fall where they may. All right, I just want to give a couple little updates. I did have a CAC score that everybody talks about. You know, on the internet, you should always get a CAC score. See that your diets and your lifestyle isn't killing you. Well, that's a calcium artery score, and my dogs are smelling over here for some reason. And mine was a whopping 1485. And then, of course, every physical you have a cholesterol. And my total cholesterol is 423. I'm age 64, and I'm not dead yet. How is that? You know, they act like it's gonna kill you. And then, by the way, without going to I'm going to go into great details, but I don't want to say my exact numbers because I don't remember them right off the hand when I'm out here walking. But I do have very high LDL, very high HDL. So high LDL's supposedly the bad, but remember, when you're a baby, you're born with LDL. I have high HDL. That's supposedly the good. And I have very low triglycerides. So I have the triad, all right? And that's pretty common in people that are low carb. I'm not only low carb, I'm no carb, at least for 2024 so far. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, was give up. I've been carnivore for 2 years, but I gave up everything but meat. I even gave up the eggs and the cheese. I was adding in a few berries there for a while, but none, just animal flesh. And I wanted to do it for World Carnivore Month. Here we are. So I'm 13th of January, and somehow I'm still being energized for great workouts. I assume that is what they call gluconeogenesis. So I'm getting my energy from somewhere, because it certainly ain't carbs. And I do have a keto mojo, so I check my blood, and I'm in ketosis sometimes, but sometimes not, and I still feel very energetic. So why is that? I don't think it's a mystery. I think I'm using fat for energy, or I'm having a lot of gluconeogenesis is happening, because I wake up in the morning feeling great, full of energy. I don't even need any coffee. So, I don't know. But anyways, let's get back to the story. So I have, those markers, and I had that CAC test. And after my CAC test, they, they're all alarmed, so they send me in for a more, a test that's even better than CAC. It's a CT angiogram. And on that test, the CAC only shows calcium. And so that's it. It doesn't show blockages, and it doesn't show soft plaques. It shows the calcium that supposedly is a calcium from calcified plaque. And what they'll tell you is calcified plaque isn't the dangerous plaque. It's the soft, hot ones that you rub that cause a heart attack. But anyways, I went for the more advanced test. And that test, the CT angiogram, they put contrasting dye, IV, into your arm so they can watch the dye go through your veins. And they also, it's a more expensive test. You know, insurance companies get billed for a higher test and more radiation, but it shows your blood flows around your heart and your arteries. It shows if you have any blockages. It shows both soft and hard plaques. Now you would think, with a horrible score of 1485, that I would have a bad CAT angiogram or CT angiogram test. Well, I passed that one with flying colors. So I had one that basically everybody would say is a big failure, and the next more advanced heart test, my doctor said I killed it. Actually annihilated it. It was fantastic. No blockages, great blood flow. I mean, I'm good for another 30 years. So there you go. I did do the stress test on the treadmill too, and I had a hard time getting my heart rate up high enough when I was running on the incline. Now, I would say all that's because I've exercised pretty much daily my whole life. I'm 64. I do, I mean, just for decades and decades and decades and decades, I've always ran, lift weights. But I have fluctuated in weights. I've always worked out, but my weight has always fluctuated. I'm currently weighing 173, and my highest was 211. And I was up there a couple times. A big old fat guy that could still jog, lift weights, but I was big and fat now. Now at age 64, I probably have some of the best abs in my life, and I have to say I believe that's because I've been on the carnivore diet for this month is 2 years, and of course for the last 13 days I've just been strict animal meat. So they would call that like the lion diet, but I'm not specific to just ruminant animals like cows and lamb. I'll eat anything that has a heartbeat and eyes, and I'm not picky. And I mean, I'll eat chicken gizzards. I'll eat everything. My dogs get a little excited when they see another dog, so you have to forgive a little bit of the barking. Nice clear evening here. And, hey. Come on, killers. My golden doodles are killers. All they do is bark. They love people. They're very, very good dogs, if you don't know about golden doodles. I would say, let's see. This is my update. So, like I said earlier, I'm still alive. I have added cold plunges, and I'm gonna do probably a cold plunge today before I go to bed. I haven't gotten out of the way yet. I went to the gym this morning at got in there right at 7 o'clock because I had some things that I had to do, so I wanted to get up early, go get that out of the way. And cold plunge, I tell you, I love the effect of it after it's done, but it is it takes a little mental strength to want to jump in that water. I always make sure the water is at least 10 Celsius or below. And today and last night, it's been real nippy. I mean, there's a big winter storm going across America. We actually got sunshine down here, but it's nippy. And it's very challenging to get in. Once you get in, you know, I can maintain it. And the benefits of the cold plunge is how you feel after you get out. Now, the health benefits, you'll probably science all over the place. So I do think it helps me burn calories. This just makes sense that you would burn calories because your body is having to fight that. It's not natural that you're in that chilly space in life, you know. I mean, what do they say? Water takes the heat out of your body 5 times faster than air, as far as cold water versus cold air. So it really is, it sucks it all out of you. So I have been doing cold plunge. Obviously I haven't changed my diet, and I'm not going to. I found a diet that makes me feel great and it's easy to stick to. People always you know, say it's not sustainable, right? You can't keep it up. Well, I must love meat, because this is the easiest diet I've ever had. You know, it's gets into the evening and you decide you want a little snack. You go and boil some chicken gizzards, and then after they get nice and soft, you season them up and throw them in the air fryer. I mean, I'm eating good meat all day long, and I tell you, the carnivore diet, you don't get bloated from it. It's just a feel-good diet after you adjust. You know, granted, if you're all coming from the American diet or or the vegan diet or any other diet, it's going to take a while to adjust. And once you adjust, it's well worth it. You know, you gotta have fiber. You gotta have fiber. No, you don't. I'm proof of it. I poop just fine. No fiber whatsoever. So there's no problem there. Anyways, I have let's get back to the updates, right? I have a HbA1c that was 6.3, which is higher. Considers me diabetic. Okay, that was a while ago. My last physical in October, they have me coming back every 6 months now instead of once a year, probably because of my high C score and everything, which is fine with me. I like getting checked more often. But anyways, I got it down to 5.9. It broke into the 5s after like 18 months on the carnivore diet. But mind you, I was eating dairy there too. I think now this has been changed. Now that I'm not eating all the dairy in the carnivore diet, I think I've been checking my sugar lately with Keto Mojo, and a lot of times I'm in the 80s, and usually before, you know, I was 81 the other day when I just checked it randomly, and that was non-fasting. That was you know, I've been in the 80s before over the years, but usually that's when I do you know, some fasting here, you know, 24 hours, 48 hours, or I've done a few 72-hour fasts or slightly longer, and then yeah, my glucose will drop and be in that nice healthy range. But for whatever reason, I've always had problems with my sugar for the last several years, and that is my belief of what has caused the calcium buildup. And I'm also on, from my research, I believe that is the major cause of cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the United States. It's the #1 killer. And for the last 70 years, they blamed cardiovascular disease on saturated fats. And that's because Ansel Keys had that 7-country study, and he wanted to prove that saturated fats cause cardiovascular disease. Well, guess what? There was a lot more countries in the study than 7, but he dropped them all out until he got the 7 countries that would go along with what he was trying to prove. All right, so take that as you may, but basically back then, that's when they finally came out with some good old statin drugs to attack the one problem that they thought was the major cause of cardiovascular disease. Hey, 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 hey. And, oh, stop it, Luna. There's a couple of German Shepherds off their leash over there, so I guess we'll see how this goes as I walk by with my two dogs that, if those German Shepherds come over here, my two dogs will lay down and offer up their submissive bodies. They're not fighters, so. Anyways, those German Shepherds look like they're playing with their owners and don't even care about these two golden doodles. Anyways, that's where you know, they came out with the Lipitors and all the statin drugs. They've been treating cardiovascular disease with statin drugs forever. And cardiovascular disease is still the #1 killer of all Americans. Go figure, right? So I don't think it's I don't think the statin drugs are working. And I think there's more to the story. I think what the problem with what really causes cardiovascular disease is metabolic syndrome. It's high insulinemia. It's being insulin resistant. Those are what I believe. I think that you are born with LDL. Your brain has a lot of LDL, and just doesn't seem to make common sense to me that a baby would be born with something that's a poison. It's just not so. If you didn't have any LDL, you'd be dead. Now, granted, the LDL, there's small and large particles, ApoA, ApoB. There's all kinds of stuff involved in there. The bottom line is, I don't think it is the cholesterol. Now, the cholesterol might get damaged and cause part of the problem. You might have high blood pressure that rams the small little particles into the walls of your arteries and cause problems. But I think what it is the interior lining of your arteries get damaged, and from you being having metabolic syndrome from the sugars and the LDL, which if you have high LDL, you have increased immunity. LDL will help fight off a lot of infections. So what I think is going on is when your interior, your arteries get damaged, the LDL is coming in there to protect it. And it's like putting a Band-Aid on there, and that's what builds up with blockages. So that's what my view is, and that's what I'm rolling with. And the one thing I can fix is my metabolic syndrome. And how can you fix that? Low carb diet, like Carnivore diet. And you know, instituting some other healthy changes like you know, exercising and you know, heat exposure, cold plunging. You know, try to lower your stress. Don't be drinking too much. Certainly don't smoke. And all those kind of things. Lifestyle changes that can really benefit your health. I think statin drugs do more harm than good. If you are somebody that you're not willing to do lifestyle changes, then by all means, taking a prescription medicine might be your best course. I don't think it's going to prevent you from having a heart attack or a stroke down the line, but if it makes you feel good that you're following your doctor's advice and you're making big pharma some money, take all those blood pressure pills, cholesterol lowering pills that damage every muscle cell in your body. I don't think athletes should be on statin drugs. unless it's some rare reason to be on them. But I think by doing a low carb carnivore diet, you can make your lipids healthy. All right, that's what I think. You know, and I get flack from family and friends and people that are on statin drugs. Well, they don't feel anything. You know, they never had no side effects. Well, they don't. You know, maybe that's true, or maybe it's not. And they just don't realize it, because they're you know, they know they've put people on statin drugs. They are on statin drugs that have dementia. When they take them off statin drugs, all of a sudden their dementia goes away. They put them back on statin drugs, and guess what comes back? Yeah, their dementia, their memory loss. So, thanks but no thanks. You know. And this is one thing that is a fact. That I've seen it with my own eye on .gov website. Does statins increase your risk of type 2 diabetes? And on the government website, it clearly said yes, they do. So statin lovers, whether you like it or not, that's right off the good old government website. It increases your chance of getting type 2 diabetes down the road. So here I am, a guy that has already has a sugar problem that I'm trying to get fixed. Why in the world would you want to prescribe me a statin drug when the only thing I have wrong in my cholesterol is high LDL, which very might have the big fluffy particles, because I have high HDL and I have low triglycerides. My doctor is just a regular doctor, and I talked about a particle test with him, and you know, he basically acts like I'm crazy. You know, he didn't even blink an eye at me being pre-diabetic. In fact, he never even mentioned it to me. On my last physical, he never even gave me a HbA1c test, and when the physical before that, it said it was abnormal. It was like 6.2, and you would think, well, I'm going to get a physical every 6 months. That would be something they would test. Now my doctor, he didn't bother testing it until I went back in. I said, well, why didn't you test it? And he did it, and that's when I found out I've dropped it down to 5.9. So, come on, dogs, be good. Dogs are being a little antsy. Other dogs are walking around. They've been attacked a couple times out here, so I do have to watch out for loose dogs. Heck, one that was pretty intense. This pit bull had my dog right by the neck until his owner tackled him. And I guess that pit bull shouldn't be running around loose. It did break skin on my the white golden Luna. You know, all's well. And then he got attacked one more time. It's always my white dog getting attacked. And that time it was a pit bull again. It didn't break her skin though. It was not as vicious of an attack. And there was a nice guy. He stopped his truck and he came out and stood between the pit bull and my golden doodles. And you know, there is some heroes out there with that. See a problem? We'll actually try to help you out. I better cross the road. I got a pit bull looking dog on a leash ahead of me. So anyways, what more did I want to cover? All the side effects of statin drugs, like lowering your testosterone, increasing your chance of dementia, type 2 diabetes. I'm not taking them, and back to the matter, there's if you take a statin drug, it's, you know, the pharmaceutical companies trying to make it look like they're doing you a great benefit, because there's a thing called absolute risk and relative risk. Well, the realities of it, without going into deep detail, the difference between those risks, this is the reality. You can take a statin drug and it will decrease your chances of a future event, if you already had it, by about 1%. So, to me, you have to outweigh getting a 1% reduction to all the possible risk and that will damage your body along the way from having that statin drug. I'm multitasking, people. I'm monitoring traffic, I'm monitoring my 2 golden doodles while I'm trying to pass on my business. So there you go. Not taking statin drugs, too many side effects, not enough benefit. Let's just keep it simple, all right? Now my PSA was another thing that was elevated, and it was over 4. I was concerned about that too. I had to go to a urologist, and I have dropped weight on 2 relative checks. I went from being my PSA was like a 4.35, so over 4. Alarm bells going off, you know, prostate cancer, all that kind of stuff. And then the following check after that, I went down to 3.54. So trending in the right direction. And I think that's because of the carnivore diet, and it's one of the lowest inflammatory diets there is. So I think that's all good. Everybody has different diets they like to do out there. I read about the vegan diet the other day, and I gotta tell you, it's way more complicated than the carnivore diet. There's a bunch of nutrients in it. I mean, a bunch of nutrients that are missing. You have to supplement. Even vegans will tell you this. You have to supplement a vegan diet. And the protein you're getting from a vegan diet is not bioavailable to animals. So I am a promoter of the carnivore diet, and I'm not here to sell you anything. No, I don't think you should have to supplement if you're on the proper human diet. And you know, it kind of turns me off as soon as I start watching YouTube channels and they start trying to sell you things. I saw one the other day, and I've been hearing about it. There's some type of vitamin or hormone or whatever is in a woman's milk, and all of a sudden they're turning, I can't remember the exact name of it. I think it starts with a C, but I might be wrong. And now they're making it into a supplement, and it's just plain, it's just ridiculous. You know, adults don't go around drinking baby milk, right? So I don't think adults need that supplement. It's just, I just don't think. I've taken supplements before, and I might go back to maybe taking a multivitamin, you know, maybe down the road, or maybe not. Right now I'm just eating flesh and feeling. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. Body composition is on point, and I know I have those high risk factors, but I'm not stressed out. I don't think I'm on the verge of a heart attack or a stroke. You know, this tells me something too, that, and I had thought it was around 50%, but I heard Dr. Ovadia saying today, up to 70% of people that have heart attacks and strokes have low or normal cholesterol. So I don't know if he's right or I was right. 50 to 70% of people that are going in for heart attacks and strokes have normal or low cholesterol. That tells me common sense. Obviously, cholesterol is not the problem. Why are they having heart attacks and strokes? You know, this whole idea, they want to drop your cholesterol down to nothing. Well, this is a study I saw, and old guy Carnivore posted it on his YouTube video today. PubMed study of older people, like myself. I guess I'm 64, so you'd have to say I'm older. And they compared people with low LDL to high LDL in the older population. And guess what? people with high LDL live longer. So, head scratcher, huh? You would think that'd be the other way. They want to drop it down to nothing. But why would you be trying to drop it, especially in the older population when people with higher LDL live longer? Yeah, doesn't make no sense, does it? And then also, recently, this is a recent change, we had the lean mass hyper responder cholesterol study. And these are people that are lean, relatively healthy. They studied them over 4.8 years. And they have extremely high LDL. And they compared them to a group of people from the Miami Heart Study that have low or normal LDL. And guess what? There was no difference in heart attacks and strokes or plaque burden between the two groups of healthy individuals. One group with low LDL and one group with high LDL. So, to me, that's evidence again. Cholesterol is not the problem. Cholesterol is easy for the pharmaceutical companies to attack because they have a drug that they can sell you that lowers your cholesterol. They do not have a drug to lower your metabolic syndrome. They don't have one. That is a lifestyle thing. They can't sell you a lifestyle thing. They don't make no money at that. And people don't have the discipline to make a lifestyle change. So, the bottom line is, you can take this as facts. Remember, I'm not giving medical advice. You can take this as a fact. It's not the cholesterol, it's something else. And I think it's metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance. And that is the boat I'm riding on. And that's just the way it's going. And I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna keep on doing my cold plunges, keep on doing whatever else I feel like doing, my exercising, and my eating the meat, because it's easy to stick to, because it's so darn delicious. All right. Anyways, I think I rambled on long enough, and I want to pick up my pace. Usually walk these dogs about 3 miles, and I want you to go on out there and be able to enjoy the rest of your day. Eat yourself a big old juicy ribeye. I always say ribeye. Doesn't really matter. You can do, you know, New York strip or whatever, but ribeyes sure are tasty. I like them. So, all right, go out there. Have a great day or evening. Carnivore Ken.